live. Here we go, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Skip Happens. My name is Skip Clark, and I'm your host of Skip Happens. We always like to take time out and talk to a lot of the new artists, the independent artists, the artists that are making a difference. And tonight is no exception. I love this because, number one, she's on the other side of the country. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Number two, I love the tat, by the way, on the back of you. Yeah, that. And, she's getting on a plane tomorrow and heading to CMA Fest. But I want y'all to say hi to Britnee Kellogg. Hello, Britnee. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
God, it's so good to see you. I've heard so much about you, and now I finally get you on the podcast, and your music is something we need to talk about. And while we're doing that, hang on a minute, because I'm just going to play a little bit of the single that's out there. And so I can't play the whole thing because, if I do that, Facebook and YouTube will go, no, take it
They'll
off.
yell at you. Yeah.
Yep. Here we go. This is Britnee Kellogg on the Skip Happens podcast. Here we go.
It's unruly, but it's beautiful. It's spilled milk on the kitchen floor. It's laundry on the bed for 2 days ain't folded yet. It's tangled and complicated, sticky finger refrigerator. Paintings of the family ain't quite what we thought it'd be. But who'd have thought it'd be so sweet? Nowhere else I'd rather be. Kissing in the kitchen with your arms around me in this mess. Hail Mary right from the start. Found our way feeling through the dark. Maybe it's a miracle we got this far, but this mess.
That is called This Mess. And I want you to know right off the top, I can relate because my house is always a mess. So with the kids, you know what I mean? It's just one thing after another. So
Nonstop.
Is that so? Tell us a little bit about you, Britnee. First of all, where are you right now? Where are you?
So I am hiding out. I have 3 kids. And so I'm hiding out in our outdoors called a casita in Phoenix, Arizona. We moved here in June of last year. So we've been almost been here a year from Washington State.
Wow, how cool. Why did you make the move to Phoenix and not Nashville?
My husband's job. That is a question I get a lot. So my 2 older boys are from my first marriage. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the way the courts work is if the other person doesn't agree for you to relocate, which he was very challenging in that capacity and would absolutely never have let me move to Nashville. It was in all of our paperwork. Which is really sad, actually. Would never let me, so I could not move to Nashville unless I had a legit reason, which me going to a judge and saying, I want to be a country singer is not really they're going to be okay, no. And so my husband was relocated for work to Arizona. And I was like, okay, well, I'm getting away from, that. Which I truthfully never wanted to take my kids away from their dad. It's their dad and they have a great relationship with him. There was just for a while a lot of turmoil and that was really hard on everybody. But we're closer to Nashville now. I'm now a 2-hour and 20 nonstop flight, and I was a 6-hour situation having to take red eyes. So I am very happy with the situation, and it's beautiful.
You got Southwest right in Phoenix. That's their headquarters, and the way I know that is I have a couple of buddies that actually fly for Southwest, and they moved from here to Phoenix.
Phoenix is great.
Yeah.
And we're a little north, so we're on the way to Flagstaff, Sedona. We're only 2 hours from Sedona, so it's a little cooler where we're up north.
I love it. But do you go to spring training? I know there's spring training games in Phoenix.
Yeah. My husband's a big baseball fan, so we love seeing the spring training. It's super fun. It's
awesome.
over now, but
yeah, we're a big baseball family. As you can see, I got my baseballs right here. So that's kind of cool. Let's talk about your music, though. How long have you been doing it?
Oh, gosh. So when I was 6 years old, I went to a Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash concert. And I instantly fell in love and have been doing it ever since. My mom started me in singing lessons pretty short after that. And I mean, it was like one of those things where I was like, I literally looked at my grandma and I was like, I'm not going to school tomorrow, just so you know, like this is my forever thing. And so ever since then, I started in fairs and talent shows. And back in 2011, 2012, I was on American Idol. And that's kind of really what propelled my career to more than just like, I sang in a dance and show band for 10 years. That was a 12-piece band. It was so much fun. But American Idol is really what like got me into music professionally.
Yeah, there's been so many independents that I've spoken to that have either been on The Voice or American Idol or America's Got Talent. I mean, we can go on and on with those shows, but they do propel you to a new level. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. You're still getting the visibility and people know who you are.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's even better. For me personally, the contracts are pretty wild on those shows. And so for me, it's a blessing to make it to the top 40, get the exposure and have the experience. It really helped me to kind of see the political side of the business too, in those experiences. And it was just an amazing experience.
No, I laugh because you're not the only one that has said the political side. And you're very talented, and you and everybody else that I've talked to, and you love what you do and you have a passion for what you do. But just like any other job, there are certain politics involved. And it just, whether it's me working in radio or you working in the industry as an artist, it's like there's certain politics and it just sucks.
It does suck. I think too, like, there's such a big lens right now on female artists. And I will say, like, I get it because there isn't a market, like females don't want to go watch a girl rapes around on stage. They want to see a hot young guy with a mullet. Like,
yeah, and tight pants.
I get it.
I know.
I get it. It doesn't make it any easier. And so that's why I guess like my like platform is a little bit different, and I'm not like targeting the Morgan Wallen fans necessarily.
So tell me about your platform a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm a mom of 3, and I've been through it. I've been through a lot. I was a single mom for many, many years and was in a pretty like tumultuous marriage, a lot of infidelity. And I just really want to write music that people can relate to their own personal stories. And it's not, that your typical like bro truck with a beer, which I'm here for that. I blast it in my car. But I think there's just not a space for a mom to turn on a song that makes her cry, but also empowers her. Like I think when I was going through a hard time, I had to listen to Christian music because country music, I couldn't even listen to it. It was all love songs or like, the I Met a Girl songs, and it was just hard to listen to. And so I really wanted to create, kind of a platform that moms, women, and whoever like can go to feel a little less alone in what they're going through.
Right. The way I look at it is you doing what you're doing. You have lived life. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of bad, and a lot of great stories come out of that. And people, either whether it's me or maybe there's somebody else somewhere else, and I'm sure there is, and they're going to go when they hear, like I heard that song, The Mess. I'm thinking, that's me. That's my house is a mess. But I realize there's more to the song than that, but still, I can relate because, like you, I've been through, a couple of relationships. I mean, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I mean, that was my past. Was I an angel? No. Was
we all
she?
Learn from it.
No. We all learned from it. Exactly, Britnee. Exactly. But I love seeing you, and I love seeing the smile on your face. And I know that you're making something of your life. You are doing it. You're not letting things bother you. You're going to take the bad and you're going to make something good out of that. What's that saying? You make lemonade out of lemons or something like that. I don't know.
That's right. I just put it in my tequila. That's what I
did. I actually just had water, but I actually thought about grabbing a cold beer, but I said, nah, better not. I got to set the good impression. But yeah. So you've got your first album coming out too, right?
I do. It's so interesting. I'm much older in the industry. It's so funny. I'm like getting ready for CMA Fest, and I'm like packing my chin strap and packing like my teeth whitener, and I'm like imagining what is like Megan Maroney packing for CMA Fest. Certainly not all of the old lady stuff. But I released an EP in 2019, and then really wanted to release a full-length album. Being independent, it's obviously insanely expensive to do it right. And so it did take me quite a while to be able to do it. And I'm really proud of this record. It's really like kind of a biographical album of me.
How many tracks, Britnee?
12 tracks.
Excellent. So you're getting on a plane tomorrow.
Yes.
And you're heading to Nashville, and it's CMA Fest. It's a crazy week out there. You've been before, I would assume. Have you been?
I have. So I actually played the first time last year. I was literally only there for 24 hours because, life. And this year I'm there for 5 days, and my schedule is like jam-packed, and I know that it's like nuts everywhere. It's great. I always tell people when they're like, what's the best time of year to go to Nashville? And I always tell them CMA Fest. It's wild, but like you can't see that many country artists in one place ever.
No. Have you been to the country radio seminar?
I have.
Yeah. Were you there like just a few months ago?
I was not.
Okay.
I was not, but I have been there 3 times.
Yeah.
I used to have a manager that lived in Portland. She's no longer my manager, but we used to go every year, and I love it. It's so much fun.
It's a good way to network with a lot of radio people and just make friends. And you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what's going to happen. Somebody may.
Yeah, I was in like the pickle
jar
ping pong tournament.
Oh, the ping.
And I was like, there's literally like, I don't know, crazy famous people like right here. I'm like, this is great. Gotta love Nashville.
Is awesome. We do that every year. We go, and I've been going for well over 20 years, but now they come up with the ping pong tournament the last few years, and I know just recently it was Jelly Roll, and oh my gosh, I can go on, and just a long list of stars, and it's just everybody just there in their sweats and doing whatever and having a good time. But here again, it's a great way to meet people and network, and you're in such a good format that people care. People really care in the country format. I love it.
They do. It's been it's people always ask like, oh, you're from the Pacific Northwest, like how did you get into country music? And I'm like, well, Johnny and June, like that's an easy way to get into the country industry. But I just always listened to country music growing up, and it's just like it's such a different world. And I think that's why so many pop artists are putting country music out. Like when he said country's cool again, I think people are really realizing how amazing and beautiful this space is, and I'm totally here for it. I love it.
Yeah. So you're a fan of like Beyonce doing her thing.
I think it's cool. Like my thing is like people get so upset, and I think people feel so what's the word I'm looking for? They feel like they own country music, like the fans. They're like,
right.
This is mine. Like you can't come in and take what's mine. And it's like, but then don't listen to it. I mean, I know it's on the radio all the time, so you kind of have to if you listen to the radio. But I think it's great to hear different perspectives of different people from all walks of life. I heard that Machine Gun Kelly might be putting out a country album.
Dua Lipa, you got Post Malone, you got Posty doing his thing. I mean,
I love it. I'm here for it. I think it's really cool. And it's at the end of the day, it's art. And I think it's, you look at Taylor Swift, who was in country for how long. And then when she moved to pop, everybody was like, she's going to be, she's going to fall on her face.
Look at her now. Yeah, exactly. 100%.
You're right. People make the art, and it's really cool.
You are so right. And the way I feel about that from a radio person's perspective is I think it's great for the format.
I think
there's
so
certain people like people that listen and they'll argue with me about it. But I'm going to tell you, I think like Beyonce making that, putting out that song and kind of doing a little bit on the countryside, I think it brings new people to the format because Beyonce's fans are going to jump over and listen to what we're doing on country radio. Now they may like it, they may not like it, but if they like it, now we've got some new listeners.
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it. It can't hurt us. It can only expand the format.
100%. I think it's great.
That's what I'm saying, baby. That's what I'm sticking to my guns.
I was
Absolutely.
gonna say that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's right. Exactly. So you're heading out to Nashville. You get to play. You're going to be playing at CMA Fest. And
I do.
where?
Friday, on the Good Molecule stage at 10:55 a.m. And then Saturday, I'll be at the BMI block party at 1:50.
Early. You going to be up that early?
I mean, I have an interview. This is like, ouch. I have an interview at 8:15 a.m. on Thursday. And when it came across, it's with WSM, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh my God. Don't turn that
can't
down.
say
Baby.
no to
No,
that.
no.
Like,
Don't turn
what
that
time
down.
Tell me when I will wake up and be there 30 minutes early.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I may not have all my makeup on, but I will be there. I got to make this happen. It's radio. You don't need to worry about all that. It's not like, being on camera here. So anyways,
Totally.
you don't have anything to worry about anyways, but that's awesome. You've probably done the radio thing before. I'm sure have you done a radio tour and you get up at the crack of dawn and you go into morning shows and you got to be the happiest person in the world and sing your song and sound perfect.
You're totally like making an impression, and not just your music, but your personality as well. And that's like, there's something to be said about that. Like, I think, of course, like that at the end of the day is really why people want to play your music, is how you show up. And I think it's super important.
No, the first impression means a lot. And I can tell you that from being a programmer, the radio tours, and now we do a lot of this. This is she disappeared. But what I was going to say is now that we're doing this is the fact that, actually coming into the radio station doesn't really happen like it used to. It does happen on occasion, but not always. And hopefully Britnee will pop back in here. She's in Phoenix. Can you believe that? Phoenix, Arizona. Now, we've had people on Skip Happens from Australia, California. We get a few, but a lot of those, you may think that they make Nashville home, but the reality is they do not. But yet they travel to Nashville quite often. So waiting to see if Britnee pops back in here. I'm sure she will. I don't know. It's that long distance connection. There's a crow on the line. Here she comes. There she is.
That's so weird. I was there the whole time. I could hear everything you were saying. My face was still showing. I don't know what happened.
I see you though. I see you now.
Okay, yeah, here we are.
Yeah. No, I kind of carried it. I don't know. I'm just rambling, but
I was like, I'm here. I can see you.
Do you get back to your hometown at all, or do you just kind of do your own thing?
That's where most of my shows still are. Not most, but a good percentage of my tours are still there. So I'm there quite a bit. Great. I enjoy it.
Yeah. But now, like you've already done this a couple of times, but heading to Nashville and you're hoping to, let's take it to the next level. And
yeah, I mean, I'm there. I spend, I would say, about 40% of my time in Nashville. Yeah. And it was really important to me when I first started traveling to Nashville, to make sure that I'm not just showing up there and then leaving and taking what Nashville has to offer. Like, if I could move there, I would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So it's always been really important to me to like build a community there and, just show face so that it's a respect thing. Like, it's definitely a must be present to win kind of situation in Nashville. And I just always really wanted to make sure that I was.
Yeah, exactly. What about your songwriting? Do you write all your own music?
90% of my songs I write. There are 2 songs on the album that I did not write, and that was total happenstance where one of the situations I was at the Bluebird Cafe playing around, and my friend, her name's Tori Touye, played a song. Hell in a Handbag is the name of it. Oh, yeah. And I like, what is this song? I need it right now. It was just one of those moments where it was like, I know I didn't write this, but I don't care. I love it so much. I want to record it. And then Autumn McIntyre, the producer, Reba McEntire's niece,
yes,
reached out to me like a week before the album, before we were going to start recording. And she was like, I have a song that just got dropped it was on hold for like 2 years. And she's like, perfect for the album. And it's a song called Love Thy Neighbor. And it's also a song that went viral multiple times on TikTok for me and was just such a fun song. So I would say 90% of my music I write, but if a song comes across the table, and I mean, they're there for a reason, right? Like, we have amazing songwriters. all over, and we want to make sure that their songs get heard too. So if a song comes across my lap that I'm obsessed with, I'm absolutely
Gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the Bluebird? I mean, you've played there, obviously. You just said that, but have you played there more than once? And is it very nerve-wracking?
I have played there more than once. I actually love playing there more than I love playing like big stadiums. I feel like it's just so much more intimate. And big stadiums don't make me nervous. It's more of like, I feel like in a little room with people, you really can just connect more. And for me, it was magical. I loved it.
No, absolutely. I could see that, and I understand where you're coming from. Exactly. What you do talk about the big stadiums, though. Let's talk about some of the people that you've toured with. Give us
Yeah.
some names. Give us some names. Come on, throw some names out there. Let's catch 'em.
Kane Brown, Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very John Party.
Love
Mostly
John Party.
dudes, but
Yeah.
so fun. Lee Bryce, I will say, is probably one of my favorites.
Lee is a
If
great
not,
guy. Yeah,
him and Randy Hauser, and it's funny, I know they're like very, very close friends.
they are.
But they are two of the artists that I've played with that were the kindest and actually stood side stage and like watched my shows. And Lee Bryce, like I played a show with them, I don't know, a couple months before we did this festival together.
Mhm.
And we're at the festival across this field, and he's walking with a brown bag of who knows what. And he's like, Britnee Kellogg, like from across the field. And I was like, that's really cool that he remembered my name or even took the time to like
That
care.
means something
know?
right there. That means something.
Yeah.
You know what else means something is the fact that I don't know how recent these numbers that I got off the website, but 446,000 on Facebook, 187,000 on Insta. You got 1.3 million on TikTok. Now I'm sure I don't know how recent those numbers are, but
That's pretty recent.
yeah, that's huge, Brittany. That's huge.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a lot of work.
I know it's a lot of work. And that being said, you do it all by yourself, or do you have a team that works on your socials?
My socials is all me, 100% me, all by myself. And it's definitely, I actually recently was looking into hiring like a social media manager, but I don't want to get rid of my commenting quite yet. Like I go through and I respond to all the comments
Oh my God,
myself.
that's great. Yeah.
And I actually, every morning I wake up early, I sit with my coffee and I respond to comments for 2 straight hours. It's just like something that I do every day. It's really important to respond to the fans. Like they take the time to comment on my stuff. I should take the time to comment back. But when I stuff like people, I'll have a venue go, hey, your show's in 2 weeks and it's not on your website. And I'm like, damn. So that's like really what I need help with is like my email list, updating my website, like all of that stuff. It's just where I'm really bad at it.
You know, the socials is one thing, responding to Facebook, TikTok, Insta, or any of those. That's one thing. And you say you get up and you do that, but actually to keep the website up to date, that's a lot of work. And there's going to be things. Yeah, that's a lot. And you got graphics and you got this and you got that, it's just, and if something goes wrong, you mess something up in the back end, then you got to call somebody. It's just a pain in the ass. But so that's why
literally,
that's why somebody should be doing it. But the social, I totally get that. And I would think it's that personal connection that you make with your fans or even new fans. Somebody's going to discover you on TikTok and it's like, oh my God, I love this Britnee Kellogg. This is awesome. And look at how many people has that happened to? Think about that.
Pretty wild. I'm really grateful. And it's funny. It kind of goes back to the like male versus female. I mean, you look at people, males specifically, that have gone viral twice and are being signed and blown up, and and like you have a Bailey Zimmerman who's like, I just never really like wanted this. I just like posted a video and I'm famous,
And that's exactly
and it's like I've been viral so many times, and here we are.
Here we are. Here we are.
Still
I know, and I'm seeing new artists come across my desk almost every day. I'm getting something. They've got so many streams. They're doing this. They're doing that. It's just crazy, and how all that is evolving. and it's pretty much changing the landscape of the format a little bit. I don't think it's bad, as we talked about before with some of the other music, some of the other artists coming into the format. I don't think it's bad at all. It's just there's so many out there though.
Yeah, I think I had a TikTok meeting the other day because I was like, I used to post something and I used to know, okay, this song always goes viral. And I would post it and within an hour it would have 1 million views. And now I like asked her, I'm like, what is going on? Like I had a video on Instagram do almost 100,000 views and it had 1,900 on TikTok. And I just said like, what's happening? And she's like, it's just
That's
so
weird.
oversaturated.
Really? Yeah, no, that's probably true. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. You see the difference in those numbers and you kind of scratch your head and go, what the hell's going on? I don't get this.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, whatever. You just keep posting and throwing it at the wall and hope it sticks.
Now, you said before we went on that you did some videos today. Was that for like TikTok or was that for your socials?
It was for socials. So I do some brand collaborations as well. And so I have one that I'm working on for CMA Fest with the Good Molecule Skincare. They're going to be at CMA Fest passing out free skincare. So I was filming one of those. And then my kids and I did a Hawaiian shaved ice campaign today. So we made shaved ice and swam in the pool. It was great.
I love it. Now, can I ask how old?
It takes a long time.
I know. I can't even imagine. I don't think I'd be able to do it. But can I ask how old are the kids?
They're 6, 14, and 16.
Okay. So who helped you with the shaved ice today?
All 3 of them. But my 14-year-old is like a major Swiftie, and he actually has his own Instagram for Taylor Swift with like 16,000 followers or something.
I don't blame him. Okay.
Wild. And then my 16-year-old is on the spectrum. He could care less about any of that, but he like is involved. My 6-year-old is a total camera little love, and he loves it too. So, but my 14-year-old helps a lot with the filming.
I love it. I have a 23-year-old son, Zach, who's Down syndrome, and he's all about just he's the love of our life, and he loves what I do here. When I do this, we do a podcast called Zach Attack with Dad, and it's crazy. I mean, if you explore Skip Happens on YouTube, you'll see Zach Attack with Dad.
I'm gonna go find it.
If you want to get a smile, so just if you just need something to pick you up, and I know we all have those days, just go there.
There is nothing. My son is pretty high functioning, but he's definitely very autistic.
Yes.
But there's Down's kiddos are literally the most incredible human beings.
100%.
Like, I feel like God was like, I'm just going to give you every good quality that a person can have. Here you go. Because they're so incredible.
I don't want to get off the subject of music, but and then I don't want people to think that all I talk about is my son. I'll get all up over this, but us having a conversation here now that we know each other a little bit. My wife and I went through a lot in the beginning, which I told you. And then I found Nancy, my wife, and we were a little bit older and we were trying. She wanted to have kids. She never had kids. We kept trying and kept trying. Nothing was working. It was fun trying, but nothing was working. And, but then all of a sudden she got pregnant. She miscarried and then she got pregnant again. And we were so happy. But then we go to the doctors, and because we're older, she was what do they call somebody that higher care? It's not just your
high risk.
Yeah, high risk, I guess.
Yeah.
So we go there, and they said, you know what, we're gonna do tests. We just need your permission. Oh yeah, yep. And come to find out, we were having a Down syndrome baby, and it was just they give you the option saying, all right, and I don't know what you believe in. I can only assume. I can just already tell by looking at you. But there are so many people that don't want to deal with it, that say no. And the doctor, they only have so much time to do whatever they need to do. I know time's changing now in this world about all that, but I remember that day, that doctor, we were in his office and he sat down with us and he said, okay, Skip and Nancy, I need to know We can't wait any longer. What are you going to do? And both my wife and I looked at each other, bawling our eyes out, and we just said, Doc, God has given us a child. This is our son.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a great life. And he just smiled from ear to ear and said, do you realize how many people would not want to deal with that I go through? He went on. And then Zach is 23 now, and he's got a job. He's a big baseball fan. He's never a dull moment in my house. It's crazy. He's all hugs, all jokes, all just, it's freaking nuts in a good way.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, all right.
I love it. No, I love it. I've
never really looked up like that before, but it's just, it's, yeah. And I have 3 grown daughters and I've got 8 grandkids. So because of that, but that's all I call it my previous life, if you know what I mean. And I'm sure you do.
I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wrote a song for my autistic son because it's called King of Legoland. And you might relate to it a little bit if you listen to it. It's just, I really, again, wanted people to kind of get insight into kiddos that are a little bit different. I think it's so easy to see a kid or adult, for that matter, that's a little bit different than them, and they're very quick to assume. I posted a video of him on TikTok that went very viral of him at Legoland, and the comments are just horrifying. Like, why does he run like that? What is he doing with his hands? And so I really wanted to shed light on like what kiddos that are different maybe deal with. And for Caden, when he builds Legos, he goes into his own little world where like no one can hurt him.
Yep.
And it's just a really beautiful, it's beautiful being a parent to a kiddo with differences. It truly is.
Beautiful for doing that. You know what I mean? That's just, oh my God. Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Trust
me, I have my teary moments with him all the time. Today I'm not so teary. He's struggling in summer school, and I'm like,
oh, don't even go through the school thing. We fought with the school. We did all that. You just got to do what's right for your child, and nobody knows better than mom.
Nope.
And don't mess with mom. I was I know we're off the subject here, but it's a podcast, so we can chit chat a little bit. But there were times he graduated back in 2019, but there were times that we would get a call from the school and blah, blah, blahs, whatever. So we'd have to go to the school. It's like, you people don't get it. You put them in a timeout alone. You put them in whatever, you can't do that. You don't
understand. It's so hard. I emailed his teacher today and I was like, here's 25 assignments. He has to retake geometry during summer because he failed his first semester. But he's like, I have to have the teacher unlock 25 assignments from the last week because he just goes through it and doesn't think. And then he gets like 6% or whatever.
Right.
But I'm grateful, we do have a great team at his school, but it's the same thing where it's like, well, he plays on his iPad during class the whole time. And I'm like, you give him an iPad. Like, you're giving an autistic kid with ADHD an iPad that has the internet and expecting him to do his schoolwork.
Right. What? It's not going to work. No. You just don't want to deal with it. You want to keep him busy so you can go and do other things when they should not be doing that.
Yeah.
They need your attention and they need to learn just like anybody else.
2 more years.
You go, Mom. I love it. I love it. So God bless you. God bless you for being who you are and what you're doing.
You too.
Once we had Zach, realized that it changed our lives, but it changed it for the better. And I'm sure the same thing with you. But it's a tough road. I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, it's a challenge. Oh, you were talking about people in the comments and all that. When we had Zach, so many people were like, we're so sorry. Is there anything we can do? Is there this? It's like, what are you talking about? Zach is fine. Zach is fine. He's our son. He's beautiful. Yeah. Maybe he won't learn as quick as other kids, but you know what? It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
They're the coolest kids. They're so cool.
He was real quickly because we're such a baseball family and we're big. We used to house some of the AAA players. That's the one level below the majors. And then a lot of them went on to play the majors. And here in Syracuse, we have the Mets. And so we're one level below the New York Mets. We're the Syracuse Mets. And in 2019, I'm going to brag, he was the Mets fan of the year in
That's
2019.
amazing.
He's got a plaque at the stadium. He's got all that, and everybody in the stadium knows him. And everybody's, hey Zach, hey Zach, hey Zach. And plus, that's where he works now. He works at the stadium in the press box.
That is incredible.
He does the scoreboard. He does the walk-ups. He does the lineups for the PA announcer, which I do that once in a while. So it's just so cool to go in and sit there if I'm working the PA to see the notes he left me. And, obviously I can tell from his writing. It does. And I bring them home. And I said, I'm not throwing these in the trash. This is pretty awesome. So I bring it home. All right. Let's get back to Britnee Kellogg. But how can we?
Hey, I love it. I'm here for it.
So if you want people to know about you, what would you tell them? Why would you tell them to listen to your music?
I think it's just a different, I don't want to say style of music. It's country music. But if you love 90s country, if you love the storytelling part of country music and kind of miss that in today's music, I think you should give my music a listen. Specifically, if you're a parent or in a relationship or have just been through a lot in your life and have come out on the other side a little bit stronger, I think you will definitely relate to my music.
Damn. I love it. Now, website, if somebody wanted to get a hold of your music, I know you're on all the socials, but somebody
everything under Britnee Kellogg, literally everything. Thank goodness my dad was very smart. Pre-American Idol, he's like, okay, before the show comes out, everything has to be Britnee Kellogg, because people are going to take your handle. So everything is under Britnee Kellogg. My website's BritneeKellogg.com. All my socials, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, all of it is just at Britnee Kellogg.
Smart of your dad to do. That was very smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for him.
Nice. It's awesome. Is there you talk about 90s country. Have you listened to Zach Top?
He is one of my favorites. I love him. So do you know May Estes then?
I don't know if I know.
You have to listen to her. So she is female version of Zach Top.
Okay.
She just signed to Big Machine.
Okay.
And May Estes, Maestes. I love that I'm promoting one of my favorite. She's literally one of the most incredible. She sounds like 90s country, but she literally sounds like a female version of Zach. He's incredible, and I'm so happy that he's doing as well as he is, because we need that back. He's like a little Alan Jackson, and we need that back.
Well, that's what that's it. That's his style, and that from a programmer's perspective, a lot of that is coming back around. And
I love that.
And Zach, I think he's in the top 20 now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I was reading something today. He's climbing the chart, so pretty good.
The King of Country song?
Yes. Oh, the king of country is Ryan Larkins. But
what is Zach? What's Zach's song?
I'm the song on the radio. Sounds like the radio. Sounds like the radio.
Oh my God. Sounds like a damn good time. I love that song.
You should do it. Okay. You should collaborate with him. Do it together.
That'd be super fun. I love Ryan too, though. That's a great song.
Yeah. Ryan's great. We had him here for a show, and I really enjoyed hanging with him. And so that's really cool. Is there anybody else that you're digging when it comes to music artists?
Oh man. May Estes. Let me.
I know.
I love the new Terry Clark album.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big. You don't like it?
No, I haven't listened. And I should. I'm a fan of Terry Clark. I just really haven't with everything else.
So it's all her old songs. It's her old stuff, but with collaboration. So she just released. I'm
making note of it.
The name of the song, but she released one with Lainey Wilson that just came out on Friday, and it's great. It's so great. It's just a new kind of vibe of her old stuff, but with newer artists. It's really cool.
I like that. I like that idea when they do that, especially some of the well-established artists, and they kind of give it a new sound, but not really a new sound. It's just you know the song when you hear it. Maybe a little bit different, but to hear some other voices on it, it's pretty cool. Really,
Absolutely.
really.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I'm loving right now. Obviously.
Out there. I know. I always ask, and it's fine because if somebody was to ask me, I'd be going, all of them.
Do you know who Farron Rachel's is?
Yes.
She's really great.
I've heard her name. Yes.
She's really, really good. Taylor Austin Dye is really great.
These are the artists that need to be heard more.
Totally. Like they're so good. And oh my God. Wait, Kylie Bishop. Have you heard of her?
That I have not.
Okay.
I've heard of Britnee.
She was on The Voice.
All right, go ahead.
She was on The Voice for a while. And a long time ago.
Okay.
Her voice will literally take you to another place. She just released a song called 7. You should look it up. Kylie Bishop. Her song's called 7. And basically the premise of the song is she was married for 7 years. And it took 7 minutes to divorce him. In the room with the attorney, in the attorney's office, took 7 minutes to sign the paperwork. And her voice, it gives me goosebumps even thinking about it. It's haunting. Her voice it's one of the best voices I've ever heard in my entire life. It's wild. And she definitely needs more credit because she's insanely talented.
I love it. I will definitely be looking that up.
Yeah.
But, it's always sweet. So what time's your flight tomorrow?
Not till 1:45.
Oh, you're lucky. I didn't know if you got an early flight. So
I haven't started packing yet. So
girl, look at you take a backpack, you throw underwear, socks, maybe some jeans. Oh, wait a minute. That's for a guy. Never mind.
I'm the girl that's always overweight. So I always do the sky cap at the entrance of the airport because they don't weigh my bags.
Don't tell everybody your trick. You're only going for 5 days. You're only going for 5 days.
Yeah,
no, I know.
I have to have performance outfits, and then I have to have interview outfits, and then I have to have casual outfits, and it's just
I know. I'm teasing you. I get that. No, but from a radio guy, we can just go with jeans and socks and a couple t-shirts, maybe a pair of shorts, sneakers. We're good to go. Some deodorant.
Well, and being old, I have to bring all my skincare, and that stuff is heavy.
Please. You're not that old, and I'm not even going to go there, but you look very beautiful. So it just, you've got the name, you got the whole package. Your music sounds great. You're spending time on Happens, which means a lot. We definitely need to hear more from Britnee Kellogg. I know you're out there, you're doing your thing, but we need to know more. And you talk about females being on the air. I'm one of those that I would like more females on the air. I don't want to hear, I don't mean this in a bad way, but, we're always seeing Carrie comes out with a song, boom, it's like an automatic ad. You got Miranda Lambert now. She's out with Wranglers with a new Republic. I think she's on the Republic label. Boom. Now that's on the radio. But it's and Lainey, I love Lainey to death. Oh, my God, I love her. But still, there's only Carrie, Lainey, Miranda. I'm trying to think what else.
Carly Pierce.
Carly Pierce. Love Carly Pierce too. So
I love her too, and I love her sound. I love her sound because she's more 90s country sounding too.
Yes.
Yeah, but I agree with you. It's they can release a song and it instantly goes to top 10 or whatever.
But we need to open up just like we have with the guys, because now we have the Bailey Zimmermans, we have the Zach Tops, we've got Zach Bryan, we've got it just keeps going. Post Malone's now. The hottest song in the country is "I Had Some Help." So, I mean, and you got Morgan Wallen, who's doing he's collaborating with so many different people. Jelly Rolls,
who cannot do anything wrong.
No, except no, you're right. Never mind.
I actually posted a video. I posted a funny perspective from the chair's perspective.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Last night he let the liquor talk. It's from the chair, it was I literally say he just yeeted me off the deck. It's really funny. People were very up in arms, this is mean. I'm like, I literally love Morgan. This is no shame. That's why I came from the perspective of the chair and not a different perspective, because I'm listen,
100%.
Yeah.
Listen, Brittany, don't you go throwing chairs off a rooftop bar. Okay.
No, I can't. I'm too old to be out that late anyways.
Oh, stop with the age thing. It doesn't
I know,
matter.
I'm sorry. I keep saying that, but like, I just mean like the days of like being out till 3 a.m. are over. I go to bed at 11. My best friends and I went to Vegas for my 40th this last weekend, Memorial Day weekend. And we were in bed by 11 p.m., but we were up at like 8. We're like, woo! And then it's like 11 and we're like, oh.
And 9 o'clock's rolling around and you're on the couch going, all right.
Yeah.
Eventually it's 11 o'clock. The news comes on. It's time to go to bed. I know. I hear you. Britnee Kellogg, you're wonderful. You are blessed in so many different ways. You got the music plus your family life. I just really appreciate you. And I'm glad you opened up a little bit about that because that's what we do here on Skip Happens. So and I told you before we went on that we would just have a conversation and have some fun and find out about each other. And it's just, that's what I love about doing this. And hopefully, I'm in Nashville quite often. So hopefully I get a chance to, somehow meet you somewhere or, I got friends out there now. So wait a minute, where are you playing again? Because I'm going to tell them.
Okay, so I'm playing Friday at the Good Molecule stage at 10:50 a.m. And then Saturday, I'm at the BMI block party at 1:50 p.m. And that's in the Ryman Plaza.
Right. Okay. BMI block. The block party sounds fun.
So fun.
Is it?
Who are your like fave radio guys across the nation?
My favorite radio guys? I love B-Dub. Do you know B-Dub?
B-Dub and I are, so I'm from Portland, Oregon. Like the Bowl was my station.
Hey,
so
girl,
B-Dub and I are like buddies.
Yeah, B-Dub and I, you got to look, if you see B-Dub and I know he's going to be there, you say, hey, I talked to Skip. Him and I, we talk all the time. And we talk podcasting, we talk about equipment, the stuff that people don't see. And he does nights on our radio station. I just brought him on board to do evenings, 7 to midnight. And just, he does such a great job. We hung out at CRS. You got to tell him Skip Clark said hello. Seriously.
I
don't forget. Promise me you won't forget.
I swear. I promise. Okay, what about TC?
About who?
TC Cotter. Do you know him? Spokane?
I do not know him. Nope. Fitz is a friend.
I've never met Fitz.
Do you know Kenny J? I'll go for a while. He's now a consultant, but he does a lot of radio stuff. Meg Stevens with iHeart.
What about Jason Pullman?
Yes. I know who he is. I can't say that,
I just played his wedding.
What?
Yeah.
You doing weddings? I guess you got to do what you do. So how did you, because of the relationship, he just kind of went,
it was actually really funny. So he reached out and was like, my fiance loves your music. I would love to have you just come and like sit in on a couple songs with the band. And I was like, perfect. Got my flight to Dallas because it was in Dallas. And then like 2 weeks before the wedding, he calls me and his fiance is on the phone and she's like super stressed, upset. The band that they had hired to play the wedding basically sent in the set list and they were like, it just wasn't going to work out. They just were not like, it wasn't what they were expecting. And it was a big bummer, but they were just hoping that, and I'm like, I can totally save the day. Like my band, we'll just play whatever without even like about my band, we'll do whatever. I was in a 12-piece band for 10 years. So like, I was just thinking like, I got this. So we basically were a wedding band for a night and it was so fun. We played like Bruno Mars and Miley Cyrus and it was a huge party and we had so much fun. It was a great time.
Play Uptown Funk?
We did not, but I used to sing that with my 12-piece band.
There you go.
No, we did Marry Me.
Oh, okay. You. Bruno Mars. Marry You. Yeah.
And then Flowers. So fun.
Wow. Look at that. So you got memories of doing a wedding?
I do. I'm going to text B-Dub as soon as we get off the phone.
Please text B-Dub. And I'm sure I'll hear from him too. So that's cool. Promise me you will, because I think that's going to be hilarious. Britnee Kellogg, thanks for coming on Skip Happens tonight. It's been great
Thank you for
talking with you. And for those of you watching this or whenever you watch it, it's going to be posted. It's on Skip Happens. Of course, we're live right now, but the video will always be up. Make sure you subscribe to Skip Happens. We have great artists on. For example, tonight it was Britnee. Love her to death. And this is how we met right here. So it's cool. It's how we do things. And make sure you check out the music. Make sure you buy the music. Make sure you support the artists. That's what I'm asking. So please do that. Britnee Kellogg, that is a name you need to remember. Make sure you write it down and say, I got to check this stuff out. And
Thank you.
once you check that out, you're not going to go anywhere else. It's pretty cool. So Britnee, stay right there. Thanks for joining us tonight. Love you. Take care.
Thank you so much.